Hello and welcome to IQMK Global's MusNatural Benefits in a Nutshell. My name is Lynette Domingo, and I am the Product and International Markets Business Trainer for the company. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? I wanted to start off by explaining to you what my personal Muscadine journey was about. Back in 2012, at the age of 46, after 20 years of nationally certified group fitness instructor classes, I was diagnosed by a doctor with early onset osteoarthritis. He called it early onset because I was only 46 years old and it was kind of early for me to have that. But after over 20 years of going up and down the step and pounding my knees with high intensity aerobics, it really took a toll on my knees and my ankles. And so osteoarthritis set in early. And this is also called degenerative joint disease or wear and tear arthritis. In 2017, after over 4.5 years of unsuccessful treatment with cortisone and large doses of MSM, chondroitin, glucosamine, every possible treatment under the sun, I tried and it didn't work. 3 doctors highly recommended that I have knee surgery. So I went ahead and scheduled it. Now, in mid-2017, I started eating premium muscadine, not because of the pain in my knees and my ankles, but because I had heard that there was a study done. It was a $20 million 5-year study done by Wake Forest University, and it was about muscadine's ability to inhibit the growth of 7 different kinds of cancer, including lung, colon, breast, prostate, glioblastoma, which is brain cancer, leukemia, which is blood cancer, and also skin cancer. And the reason why this was important key information for me was because both my parents passed away from cancer. My mom in 2009 of lung cancer, and my dad 11 years prior to that passed away of stomach cancer. And so, cancer is in both sides of my family. Wanted to see if there was any way I could mitigate the probability that I too was going to get cancer. So I started eating the muscadine. Surprisingly enough, though, within 5 weeks of eating this muscadine, all the inflammation and pain in my joints was gone. I avoided knee surgery. And as life-changing as that is, there's a lot of people who could really use some of the information that came out of this study. That was the whole reason why I started eating muscadine to begin with. So at the end of the study in 2020, what was found out was that muscadine has the ability to inhibit lung cancer cells from growing at 81.8%, inhibited growth of colon cancer cells by 80.5%. And listen to this, guys, those of you that suffer from breast cancer or know somebody that suffers from breast cancer, they need to know this. Muscadine was shown, proven, studied to have inhibited the growth of triple negative breast cancer cells at 92.6% of the time. Now, I know some of you need to go and yell this information at some people, so I highly encourage that you do that. So this is how Muscadine Lifestyles, the book, was born. Even though I felt that I had the most miraculous supplement on earth because of my ability to avoid knee cancer, there are other people who were suffering from other things such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart issues. And I was not suffering from those things. So the book became more a reference of what muscadine can do for everybody else versus what it did for me. So it's based on over 380 clinical trials and scientific studies that we researched, read, cross-referenced, categorized, and finally organized into this book. So let's first talk about what muscadine is. It is a grape that's a little bit bigger, well, maybe a lot bigger than your regular grape. It has 20 pairs of chromosomes versus every other grape that has 19 pairs of chromosomes. And this is what makes it a superfruit. Okay, there's over 100 polyphenols inside this grape, and each polyphenol obviously has its own special health benefit. And that's why there's so many different benefits you can derive from your intake of MusNatural. If you take a look at this picture right here in the middle, with the grape that's half peeled, you can see how thick that skin is. So pests cannot penetrate that skin, and so therefore, when muscadine is planted, it doesn't need pesticide, and it also does not need fertilization because it grows in the harshest conditions possible in the Carolinas. So it needs the coldest of cold and the hottest of hot during the summer months. So some of the polyphenols that are found in here are ellagic acid and quercetin, which gained a little bit of notoriety last year when scientists tried to recreate quercetin chemically to insert it into vaccines. And that's why I call muscadine nature's vaccine, because it has all of the good stuff naturally occurring in it already. It doesn't need to be produced in a lab. It's also got pectin fibers, resveratrol. Ooh, I'm going to talk about resveratrol a bit later in this presentation. Anthocyanidins, OPCs, vitamin C, gallic acid, and much, much, much more. So the first thing you need to know about muscadine is that it is a very potent anti-inflammatory. Now, there's different kinds of inflammation. There's acute inflammation, which is very good for your body and healthy and necessary. So when you injure yourself or when you get a burn or a sprain or something, then inflammation has to go to that area to heal it. It's necessary for healing, the healing process. However, if inflammation continues and becomes chronic, then you've got issues, because chronic inflammation is your body's first indication to let you know that there's something cellularly wrong in your system. Over 80% of all dread diseases today are derived from a foundation of chronic inflammation. So here's the thing, guys. If you have inflammation in your body and you know it, and you don't take care of it, and you just let your body continue to be inflamed, it's going to create havoc in your body. You're going to end up with cardiovascular disease or neurological disease, autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, lupus, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, erectile dysfunction. You're going to end up with all kinds of crazy stuff that you don't want. Inflammation is also a common cause of discomfort and pain, which is often unnecessarily treated with surgery. Take a look at this X-ray that is of the spine of my good friend Tanya, who lives in Florida, back in February of 2021. She had been going through several months of treatment to try to mitigate some of this pain that she was feeling in her back because of this displaced vertebrae that was caused by inflammation. So they couldn't do anything. She was in excruciating pain. She decided, I'm going to have this surgery. Well, thank goodness I caught her before that. And I said, hey, before you get the surgery, why don't you delay it a month and see if muscadine can help? Well, guess what? It sure did. And she was able to, in 3 weeks, make the decision to cancel her back surgery. And she's so excited about that. Inflammation also is the leading cause of many neurological diseases and dysfunctions today, guys, because like right now, especially after what the world just went through, there's so much anxiety and depression, and people don't know how to manage it. And inflammation makes that depression and anxiety even more pronounced, so that eventually it becomes more of a neurological problem like Alzheimer's, MS, which is multiple sclerosis, stroke, brain fog, memory loss, Bell's palsy, where your left side of your face freezes up and is paralyzed, epilepsy, seizures, Parkinson's disease, aneurysms, headache, migraine, and meningitis. These are some crazy, crazy conditions that could be averted if you just control your inflammation. And muscadine can do that very effectively. The second benefit you need to know about with muscadine is that it is the highest ORAC scoring antioxidant. Well, what the heck does that mean? Well, let's talk about, first of all, what an antioxidant is, right? So an antioxidant inhibits free radicals, which are unstable molecules, which are missing an electron, this little red guy right here. And what they do is they attack and they steal electrons from the stable molecule, this green guy here. And what happens is then this green guy becomes sick and that cell ends up dying. So this process is called oxidation, and antioxidants delay premature cell death or antioxidant oxidation. The ORAC scale is the oxygen radical absorbency capacity, and it measures an antioxidant's ability to neutralize free radical damage. Now, this graph you see on the right is expressed in micromole TE per 1 gram, and it compares various ingestible antioxidant scores. So everybody's heard of noni, which is 17. Wow, it's a very low score. Acai berry, everybody's heard of that, and a lot of people eat it because they swear by the health benefits, and that only scores 167. Mangosteens at 200. Goji berry is a little bit better. It's at 257. Table grapes, which are really, really good, 273. But MusNatural scores at 895. Now, let me clarify something. 895 is MusNatural's specific formula score. So you can, go and you can have different muscadine berries tested, and their score might be in the 600s and 700s. Still going to be high, much higher than these other things, but it's not going to be MusNatural's 895. 895 is specifically for our formula. Now, let's talk a little bit about resveratrol. It is one of the most famous and popular antioxidants. It lives in the skin of all grapes, but only muscadine grapes has resveratrol in its seed. And that's why it's 40 times more in muscadine. That's crazy. There's 40 times more resveratrol in muscadine grapes over regular grapes. And resveratrol is a very, very potent antioxidant, which you're going to learn in just a few seconds. But before I go over that, you need to know that that's what the asterisk is over there in the antioxidant. Some antioxidants may have higher ORAC scores than MusNatural. However, some of these antioxidants are not suitable for human consumption. Like, for example, I know that there is a blackberry that has a higher ORAC score, but it doesn't matter because if you eat it, it's toxic to the human body. So, just know that MusNatural is the highest edible, ingestible antioxidant on the market today. Now, we talked a little bit about resveratrol in the previous page, and I want to kind of go over a little bit more about what resveratrol is. It is definitely something that is good for your body to have in a system, and as proven by our eye partner, Alba Rodriguez, PhD, who in 2005 published a study that showed that resveratrol caused glioma cells, which are brain cancer cells, basically to commit suicide. So resveratrol is a very good component to have in your body. But let's go a little bit beyond resveratrol. We do know that muscadine has over 100 polyphenols and is rich in stilbenes, which is a category of these polyphenols. And In December 2019, which is 14 years after that initial study, we found another study that concluded that muscadine extract showed cytotoxic activity against all cancer types that were tested, which is mostly lung, breast, and liver cancer. Now, muscadine extract, which is the resveratrol, plus all the other 100 polyphenols working synergistically together, showed an amazing 50% more anti-cancer activity than just the resveratrol alone. So basically, if you want to look at it this way, you can show that 1 unit of the muscadine extract is equal to 50 units of phenomenal resveratrol. Now, the last benefit you need to know about muscadine is that it is a very effective blood flow enhancer and stabilizer. I mean, why is that important? Because unstable blood flow leads to all kinds of illness in your body, including stroke, vision loss, heart failure, heart attack, kidney disease and kidney failure, and sexual dysfunction. Poor circulation causes muscle pain and weakness, skin sensitivity, pale or blue skin color, cold fingers and toes, chest pain, numbness, swelling, and bulging veins. So, whoa, not only is it uncomfortable, but aesthetically, that's not, you're not looking too hot. Now, on the other hand, enhanced blood flow improves nutrient delivery to vital organs. That means that if you eat healthy, then all those nutrients are going to be fed to your organs. It doesn't make sense if you eat healthy and you have no blood flow, because all of those nutrients aren't going to get to your organs, right? So enhanced blood flow is very, very important. It also supports gut health, increases mental function via prolonged efficient brain synapses, meaning the wires in your brain are still connecting and they're talking to each other. And as you get older, these synapses start to dissipate and become less and less. But the more your blood flow is enhanced, the more these wires get fed and continue to connect. And lastly, blood flow enhances sexual function and increases libido, especially in postmenopausal women. We've had several testimonials of women letting us know that their sexual activity has become more pleasurable and even doable where it wasn't doable before, because now they've got this increased blood flow and lubrication going on. Okay. Several of the 100 polyphenols in muscadine grape are keys to healthy circulation. So consistent MusNatural intake will help you maintain proper blood flow and keep every. So now that you know that you need MusNatural, why do you need MusNatural over any other type of supplement or any other brand of MusNatural, of muscadine? Let's just say, initially, if you don't voluntarily invest time and money to maintain your good health, you're going to be forced to invest more time and more money to manage an illness as a result of that neglect. Okay, do we agree with that? So number one reason why you need MusNatural over any other supplement is the relationship between IQMK and its manufacturer. Muscadine only harvests once a year. So the CEO personally goes to the harvest, chooses the top variety and the top muscadine grape, and puts it on reserve. And because of his relationship with the farmer, then he has the ability to do that. So we have the best of the best always reserved for us throughout the year. There are no fillers or binders in our capsule, which is encapsulated in a vegetable casing, and it is cased in a state-of-the-art facility. The second thing is that there are 18 varieties of muscadine. MusNatural only uses the top 2 of these varieties. Third thing, we are the only international company that can boast that we have the exact formula used in the $20 million Wake Forest University cancer study. The reason why we know that is because the source that we get our formula from is the same source that provided the samples to Wake Forest University, and we know exactly the composition of that formulation. Number 4, MusNatural is 70 to 75% bioavailable. So when people ask me, well, why should I pay $50 for your bottle when I can go to Amazon and pay $18 for a bottle of Muscadine? And I said, that's a very good question, very fair question. And I tell them, I invite them to go ahead and buy that $18 bottle of Muscadine. And when they get it, open up the capsule and see what's in it. You will find that the components within that capsule, as you look at it visually, you can tell there's no way your body can absorb these components because they're too big. Our formulation is ground up to the point where your body will absorb it very, very easily. Now, the grinding process might cost a little bit more, but that's where the quality, part of the quality, comes in to play. And the final reason why you need to choose MusNatural is because of the actual integrity of the IQMK global story. Way back before IQMK was born, the formulation was sold to another company, and this other company went ahead and started, first of all, using inferior muscadine. And when that wasn't enough, they started using less and less of a percentage of muscadine in their formulation. And because of these two things, the effectiveness of the formulation was no longer intact. And so that's when our CEO decided he could no longer represent that formulation and decided to open up IQMK Global. And the reason why the name came about, because he insisted on having integrity with the quality of the product, number one. And number two, he wanted the company to have a mindset of knowledge. So our platform is, we do not sell MusNatural. All we do is we educate people on what MusNatural can do and allow people to make their own decision as to whether or not they want to live a healthier lifestyle or not. That is why IQMK Global lives by its core beliefs. It's in the name. And that concludes our quick benefits in a nutshell presentation. Just want you to know that neither Muscadine Lifestyle or myself, the author, intend to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This presentation does not attempt to offer any kind of medical advice. And always consult your personal physician and other medical professionals before starting any diet or exercise program or nutritional supplement program. All the information contained in Muscadine Lifestyle is derived from hundreds of clinical trials and scientific studies, as well as my personal experiences. These studies references can be provided by making a request in writing to IQMK Global. Thank you so much for your support, and happy, healthy, vibrant, grateful, and blessed life to you. The last thing I wanted you to do was to invite you to listen in on our testimonials by visiting our YouTube page at muscadinelifestyle.com. Here on this page, you will meet Joe, who talks about his vision improvement. He went from 0 blindness to 90% vision in his eye that was injured. Then you'll hear about the antiviral study that was done that showed that muscadine has the ability to attach itself to the coronavirus enzyme and deactivate it. Then you'll see the story of the box of illness guy. He's actually very hilarious, and you'll see how he had different conditions that were all improved, drastically improved by his muscadine usage. Then there's my friend who had Bell's palsy and was excruciatingly in pain for 4 weeks before 3 days of muscadine usage alleviated that pain. Then you'll meet Tanya, who will go over the 3 components that I just went over. And of course, you'll have my testimonial. We'll talk about my joint pain relief. And that's it, guys. So hopefully, if you have any other questions, you contact me, Lynette Domingo. You can reach me at 562-682-5935. If you just want to go ahead and email me, muscadinelifestyle@gmail.com, or put in an order for some of this miraculous muscadine at igotyu.com.